TLSS Striker is one of 4 models that TLSS makes, and it's very, very popular in China and Japan. I'm really excited to get these on feet because they are apparently very, very good. So TLSS is a brand that comes from China. They were started in 2017 as more of a logistics and manufacturing kind of brand. And then they were like, you know what? There's not enough really beautiful boots on the market. Let's create our own. And they came out with, debatably, the most technologically advanced football boots in the world at the minute, with so much tech packed into one football boot. The Striker is in a 42.5, a US 9, UK 8, and 27 centimeters. Now, the reason I say that, and you guys have probably seen the Tactician review already as of the filming of this video and of the release of this video, but TLSS makes just insane football boots, in my opinion. Good shape, good overall material quality, and of course, partnering with brands like Carvo and Tempur is really, really cool. Now, this is the string bag you get with the TLSS branding, which is very modern and fun, kind of graffiti-esque. Really nice bag as well, good quality, very, very strong feeling there. And then similar to the Tactician, you get 2 different colors. Oh my days. These are much brighter. So this is a synthetic model that's meant to be a little bit more flashy, a little bit more of that, yeah, lightweight speed boot type vibe for strikers, which is aptly named. Very, very cool. Same sole plate as the Tactician as well, which I actually don't mind because this reminds me a lot of what Hypervenom used to be, which is one of my favorite boots of all time. Then we take the other one out, and here we go, kind of a light washed pink colorway. Very cool. So this is what they look like, and this colorway looks like the old Puma Tricks color in the blue and pink. Obviously, Puma's was a lot kind of more intense colors. These are more, what's the term that I'm looking for? It's the term for the pair, this type of color that's sort of washed out. I'll think of it. Anyway, let's get these out of the way. And the fact that they've only been going in business since 2017 is pretty remarkable, in my opinion. It's one of those things that just, from a production standpoint, the Japanese and the Chinese are just on it. They are so good at it. And yeah, okay. What's really cool is they also have this little tag system, which you probably saw in the other video as well. So these are all the brands that they've partnered with to create this football boot. And so they've got a little, what do you call this? Little football boot cutout made of Carvo, made of the material. And it says made in Japan. You've got the P-Backs powered, which is really cool. So that's what the sole plate is made out of. And it's actually made from renewable castor beans, grow on marginal soils, and do not compete with food, do not cause deforestation, and capture atmospheric CO2, which is obviously great for the environment. And you've got lightness, extreme shock resistance, and that snapback effect, which is super cool. So it's a little like business card, if you will. And then they've also got the business cards, stuff that I can't read that's in a different language. And then you've got high grade artificial leather. So that's Teijin. Remember Teijin synthetic from Vapor 8, 9, and 10, I believe. So Teijin synthetic, very, very cool. And it says the vamp of these soccer boots is made in Japan using Teijin material. Teijin does not assume or guarantee or responsibility regarding the manufacture or use of this product. Okay, yeah, just disclaimers. And then Carvo, which you'll see in just a minute, and that's made in Japan. So very, very cool there. We're just gonna rip this off actually. Nice. And I'm not quite sure. From my research, it sounds like a lot of their materials are made in Japan. I think the boots might still be constructed in China. So yeah, I'm not sure how that all works, but a lot of their materials, Carvo, Teijin, a lot of their stuff is made in Japan. And then the boots, I can't remember if they're actually produced in Japan or assembled in Japan or China. I can't remember. But to be honest, it doesn't really matter because they're very, very high quality in general. So this is the Striker, which Striker in FG, this is the same FG sole plate as the Tactician, which you guys will have seen that video already. Really nice neutral stud pattern, but definitely aggressive enough for AG and FG surfaces. The studs are definitely long enough for FG as well, and this sole plate just feels really, really good in hand. It's got good quality, it's got a good amount of robustness to it, and it just, yeah, it definitely passes the eye test and the in-hand test. Now, a lot of Chinese Super League players and J League players wear this particular striker model, which is pretty cool. So the Teijin synthetic is very soft. It doesn't have a very, I would say it's not the thinnest Teijin synthetic on the market. It still does have that little bit of, not padding, but it's got a little bit of robustness to it, which actually might be really nice. Boots like this and the Skechers Razor, for instance, that forefoot area is kind of what this feels like. It feels a lot like, let me see if I can grab the Skechers Razor over here. Here we go, Skechers Razor. And that Teijin forefoot feels almost identical to the forefoot of that Skechers Razor, except this one actually has some grip elements embossed into that forefoot, which is cool. So that's kind of the comparison that I would give. And then as opposed to being knit in the midfoot like the Razor is, this is actually a full Teijin synthetic leather upper, but then with a little bit of that knit material here through the midfoot. The knit actually feels quite nice. It feels quite robust, so no issues there. TLSS logo on the lateral, the tongue area, and then you've got the Carvo and the T wet grip, or TLSS wet grip. That is this material here that's just got these little kind of rubber slashes throughout the entirety of the forefoot, which actually give you a pretty decent amount of I guess to the hand, they feel pretty grippy. So I'm excited to get these out on pitch and see what they feel like to play in. The Striker runs about 180 to 190 grams depending on what size you are, which is the 6.5 to 6.8 ounce mark. So they're pretty lightweight, to be honest. Like this is getting to the point where you're looking at some of the top end speed boots at this weight range, and yeah, very, very nice and very quality feeling in hand as well. And then here's the removable sock liner. Super nice. It's got this really a little bit more of a robust kind of padded area here in the heel, and that is to complement the flash foam that actually sits inside the heel area. You can see where all the red is, and if you were to take out the removable sock liner on a Vapor 16 Superfly 9 in the forefoot and you were to press inside the boot on the Air Zoom unit, that's kind of what it feels like. So it's very padded, basically from this area here all the way back. It's got this really nice padded sensation to it, and I actually haven't taken any of the TLSS boots out to the playtest yet, or I haven't filmed the playtest, but since you will have already seen the Tactician review, you already kind of know what that's going to feel like, because it's the same sole plate and the same heel area. And then in the forefoot, which you can see down there, where it goes kind of dark in the forefoot there, that is a Carvo insert, which is basically a material that mimics carbon fiber in the sense that it's very, very snappy. You get Carvo in a lot of the Adler models and of course in the TLSS boots as well. So overall, this Striker model is very exciting to me because I think this is going to be one of those boots that I really enjoy wearing. And on top of the fact that the sole plate and the upper shape is just so nice and neutral. Speaking of comparison boots, right? Very, very similar. So Skechers Razor and TLSS Striker, very, very similar on the shape, obviously with quite a different sole plate, but the shape of this feels really neutral. It looks really nice. And although I'm not a huge fan of this particular color, I wish these colors were a little bit more intense. I do think that this is actually going to look really, really good on feet in general. We'll see how, I don't know, from a colorway perspective, but I do think that having two different colors, similar to here we are, the beautiful Puma Ultras, which I've worn quite a bit now and are really dirty. I just got mud everywhere. Okay, lovely. Those are really cool. And Tricks pack, or the packs that come with two different sets of colors, is always really sick. So let's get these on pitch straight away and get them into a little playtest. All right, guys, out here at the pitch with the beautiful, these are actually sick as, why do I want to say, I just filmed the Tactician. These are the Striker. Thank you. Sorry about that. Getting distracted with how crazy these look. This is going to be a very exciting video because this is the synthetic version of a boot that actually shares a lot of, oh my days. Yeah. This is the kind of boot I'm looking for. I love those Tacticians. I think I just filmed them. That review will come out prior to this one. These are like more down my alley in terms of what I'm going to wear for a game. Now, I don't care what I wear for a training session, but if I'm like proper going to go out, I just have a personal preference towards a synthetic or a knit boot. These are freaking ridiculous. These feel so good. The shape of these is also incredibly anatomical, which is really nice. They've done a really good job with the kind of the last and the shape of the boot, which I like. It's going to fit most foot shapes. It's going to be comfortable. True to size is what I recommend. I got a 9 US, and you can see right here, they fit perfect straight out of the box. Basically, very minimal, if not zero space on the end. And a lot of the attributes from the Tactician are actually shared with these, because the sole plate, the midsole, the insole, the removable insole, the sock liner basically, and the heel area are all very similar. The heel area is a little bit different on these only because it's not like a plush material. It's a lot closer to like a GX or something. But man, these already, holy moly, guys. The lockdown is magic. Wow. This is going to be a very enjoyable playtest for me. Zero space on the edge of my boot as well. They fit flush. They are a little snug, so they are going to take some break-in time, but here we go. And per usual, if you haven't seen the Tactician video, go check that one out as well, because a lot of what I'm going to say about the sole plate in particular is relevant to that boot, because they are the same. There we go, lovely. Sole plate feels incredibly balanced. The conical stud traction is wonderful. You guys saw it in the unboxing portion of the video, but it reminds me a lot of a conical stud version of the GX1 sole plate with those kind of like slashy marks, I don't know, on the forefoot. Carvo is incredible, obviously, having had lots of experience with it in Adler boots, but they feel springy. The extra little bit of that cushioning, that foam in the heel makes the padding feel incredible as well. And this Tactician synthetic is, it's not as thin as Vapor 10. However, it is very similar feeling on ball. And it's got that same kind of like gentle, like elastic, like it molds to your foot as soon as you get your foot inside the boot. And so I don't have hot spots, and this is a synthetic boot. That's a great combination. All right, getting some dribbling done as well. And I would say the Tactician and the Striker are both boots that I would absolutely wear any day of the week. But if I had to pick one for a game situation, this is definitely the one that I'm gonna pick, due to just that little bit of extra seamlessness on the ball. And as I'm coming through these cones, I'm really noticing kind of the thinness of the upper in comparison. And it is genuinely with synthetics, you're gonna get a more sort of consistent touch across the upper, just because often leather boots, especially the Tactician, DS Lite X55, all those guys are made with like stitching patterns and stuff. And so there's obviously like areas of the ball where certain movements are gonna feel just that little bit of extra different from other movements of the ball. Whereas these ones is one material throughout the entire of the upper. So regardless of whether you touch the ball here, or even here, it's the exact same. And of course, being called the Striker, one of the things I'm most excited for is shooting and passing with these, because that's what this boot is namesake after. So here we go. Yeah, feel is great. It's not as thin, so if you're looking for a synthetic that's gonna be F50 thin, Scudetta thin, Vapor thin, I would say that these, in terms of like, I don't know if these are supposed to be positioned as an actual striker's boot, so in comparison to like a GX, for instance, I don't know if they're positioning it like that, or if they're positioning, let's do one more, positioning it like an actual speed boot. I would say, man, call it a Striker and position it like a GX2 or GX360, or not GX360, Phantom 360, like they're coming out with in whenever they do this year, the new Phantom series from Nike. So that's where I would position this, because this doesn't really feel like a speed boot all that much. That has to do with the conical stud pattern. The upper is not as thin as normal, you know, so regular speed boots, and a couple other reasons. But for me, these are just as good because they are super lightweight, but the feel of striking the ball feels a lot more kind of pingy and plushness because it's that slightly bit thicker than, say, an F50 or a Vapor or something like that. Overall, I'm really enjoying these boots so far. I know this is the initial play test, but this is one of those boots that I think are gonna be easily in my daily rotation. And one of those boots that I really am going to enjoy playing in. We'll get one more in, because of the way that they feel on feet, the way that they're performing so far, the lockdown. The heel area is excellent. It's a perforated suede, and it's gonna do such a good job at holding my feet in place. I think more so actually than the Tactician will. And you know, again, I don't think either of these boots are necessarily like better, there we go, better than the other one. It's more lots of similar elements, but do you prefer a synthetic upper or do you prefer a leather upper? And it's really kind of up to you at the end of the day. Right, here we go, a little bit more of a shooting exercise. Ooh. Feels good. Heel feels good. That padding, especially when I'm planting this way to shoot, feels really nice. That's one of the, I think the most, that and the Carvo, like good sole plates, here's the thing, good sole plates are easily, in my opinion, the place where most brands can improve. I think heel area obviously is number one. Sole plate, number two. And then a lot of brands are creating some pretty wicked uppers at this point. So I actually think it has to do with the sole plate most of the time, whether it's too aggressive or not springy enough, traction's all over the place. That's where I think you can create those like little touches like the heel padding and the Carvo, so that when you strike, boom, and then if I'm coming, push off, and it's all that, it makes for like that beautiful kind of fluid movement. I know this was a pretty minor piece of the boot when I looked at it in the studio, but I am feeling those tiny little grip elements a little bit, especially when striking the ball, because the Tahitian synthetic doesn't really have grip on it. Yes, it's a little bit more, not waxy, but like it's got some general kind of a little bit of grip, whereas what they've done with these ones, oh, that's poor, is they've created these little kind of grip lines, basically like almost like silicone, super thin silicone on the top. Rewind to the unboxing portion of this video if you want to see those up close. But they just give you that little extra bit of pizzazz, that I think is needed for a boot like this. And that's one thing that I'm really enjoying, is it's not overkill, but it gives you what you expect. And that's one of the things that I really like about football boots better than others. Like I'll take one football boot over another, because when you take it out of the box and you look at it and you're like, okay, I can imagine what it's gonna feel like to strike a ball. That's where, if it delivers, amazing, job done. That's all you need to do. But for a lot of boots, you get it out on pitch, and then it does something else, or it feels like something else, and you're like, what the hell? That makes no sense at all. And just for some fun, a little bit of free kicks. Always at the end of sessions, why not? Just gotta practice. Here we go. Oh, wow, hello. Not it today. Fun fact, this is actually the first time I have played football in, well, this round of reviews. So I've been playing now for over an hour and a half, but doing filming and stuff. But this session, funny enough, is actually, oh, yes, come on, is the first time that I have played in almost 4 weeks, believe it or not, because I took a trip to the US and I was working on business stuff and yeah, didn't take a ball with me. And I was doing my triathlon training a bunch and it was wintertime. So this is the first time, funny enough, like this is just a personal deal. This is the first time I've taken that amount of time away from a football since I was like 4 years old. And it feels actually pretty good. So that little bit of break really helps like invigor the desire to come out and train. Not that I don't have any issues with that, but I don't know, just something personal. This is super random, but you might be asking, well, Noah, if you were gone for 4 weeks and not filming for 4 weeks and off the field for 4 weeks, why do you still have content coming out? Ladies and gentlemen, that is called smart batching. And it's called good business. Okay, so conclusions as I obviously get into a little bit of just a little ping. Oh, wow, that is, I'm distracted. What is the overall vibe about the TLSS? There it is. Oh, no. The TLSS Striker. They are really freaking good. I have no hotspots right now, but in terms of overarching, let's talk about it when I take them off. All right, so conclusions. Do I think the TLSS Striker is one of the better football boots on the market right now? That's a tough one for me to answer. The reason is because as much as I think that Teijin synthetic is an amazing upper and this feels incredible on feet, my caveat is that it doesn't come close in terms of softness, break-in, pinginess. Actually, it does come close, but it's not quite where BioTouch from Scudetta is. In my opinion, this is way better than the F50 upper. This is what, you know, we all loved about Vapor 10, and that's really cool. It's a little bit thicker than Vapor 10 for sure, but in my opinion, that's going to lead to much better durability. That in combination with the sole plate, which is super snappy and responsive, the extra bit of kind of padding here in the heel area, and then what they are calling the T wet grip, which is like their grip element material. How do I say this? Is it a super special boot from a technology perspective? In some ways, yes, but not really. Is it super enjoyable to wear? Yeah, and I think that's where this boot shines. You put it on and it's sort of just a no BS, low distraction. It's just there and it works. And that's one, again, I was talking about this before in the shooting, like you get these and you look at them and you're like, okay, pretty simple, but like with a really, on paper, the tech sheet looks great, some really cool attributes to them. But then you put them on and you start performing in them and you start playing in them and you're like, dude, these just deliver. Like they're just good boots. They're not special, right? They're not like, they're not, you know, Morelia DNA is like a very special experience. The Mizuno Alpha is a special experience to play in. In some respects, I actually would argue that the Tactician is a lot more special than these because of the quality of the leather and that grip element on the instep, and you've got sort of this like beautifully constructed control boot. Like those are special. These I don't think are special, but I actually prefer these over the Tactician, believe it or not. And I think these are going to be more of a game day boot for me than those will be. And it's just because they deliver what I'm looking for. And I'm not arguing that you should buy these over the Tactician. I think if you want the leather, go with the freaking leather. They're an incredible football boot. But in terms of what these offer, and if I'm going to put these in the same category as Tequila GX, Puma Future, kind of the control / striking boot, if you will, Predator, right? These are up there, man. These are so comfortable, and especially the sole plate just provides that extra level of comfort and what I'm looking for in a football boot. So TLSS, well done. Make sure you guys keep up with my Instagram at noah.cavanaugh, because I will be announcing the launch of their worldwide shipping website, which should be coming in the next couple months, I would imagine. The reason I'm doing that is not because I'm sponsored by them or I have no affiliation to TLSS, but I am very, very excited about their football boots, and I want to make sure you guys can get access to them. So go follow me on Instagram. Make sure you stay in touch with stories and stuff. I'll be posting about it as well. Yeah, and then if you guys are interested in a free newsletter, I'm actually doing a lot of content that I wouldn't be able to do out on the pitch here, like comparison videos between the tactician and the striker. I'll do those types of things in written form on my blog with, or on my, on my newsletter. So make sure you go follow me there on my website. I'll leave a link down in the description box below. It's just noah.cavanaugh.com/newsletter. Subscribe to that. It's totally free, and it's a ton of really cool information weekly on Mondays US time. So hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As always, be awesome. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.